Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I want to start off today's cast by saying a huge thank you to everybody who's entered the background competition. That is the splash screen competition I put up on the forums. Got some really good submissions so far, some of them definitely standing a good chance of making it into the final cut. I'm going to leave that up for a little bit longer because I want as many submissions as possible, because we want to get a decent kind of plethora, that's a good word, isn't it? I don't say that very often. A plethora of these backgrounds together so we can mix and match and alternate, because it gets too samey otherwise we have the same thing over and over again. Today's game, I was going to say today's game, but actually it's going to be game one, or at least I'm going to try and make it game one. You guys have been incredibly patient with me. I've been rubbish recently. It's not basically my fault. Someone thought it was a good idea to make me do Christmas shopping. It's not my kind of thing, but unfortunately a necessity, so I had to get it done, and you guys are paying the price. I know you don't mind, but anyway, we're going to try and make that up a little bit today. I will try and get two in. Game one, though, is going to be a ladder match. It's going to be average Joes as well, so let's go on over to Desert Joust and see how these guys are going to get on. So, going first in the blue corner up here at the top left, it's grogancolin for the Evil Cybran Nation in his not-so-customary blue, because, well, he's Cybran and he should be red. That's just the way of things, but he's opening first land. And his opponent down here in the red corner, it's winner of this week's Amusing Name Award, ElectricFoot. You know what that means? That's some kind of prosthetic limb? Probably should say that. Maybe he has an electric foot. Might just be the way of things. Anyway, he's going Seraphim, moving swiftly on in the red corner, opening first land. This is an average Joe's. Remember, of course, this is ladder rating, not global ladder rating, and they did check out their global ladder rating before the start of this one. And it's actually reversed. In ladder, you can see these guys are ElectricFoot's in the lead with 1,003 and grogancolin on 930. But in global, grogancolin's actually topping out at 1,211. And ElectricFoot is 946, so it just shows you can't really take these, especially not average Joe level, you can't take these ratings to really mean anything. But it's all very subjective. It's just a guide after all, but very much an average Joes. These guys kind of middle of the road. Admittedly, grogancolin moving towards the upper echelons, but it's nice to see we've got some early aggression out from both players. We've got a lab and a mole heading south down the western stretch of the map from grogancolin. We've got two Selens out in the middle for ElectricFoot. That's giving him some good intel coverage, but most importantly as well, ElectricFoot ACU on the move. Looks like he's heading towards that middle mound with, of course, those two Salem wrecks on it. A lot of mass ready to be recycled there. That could give him a nice boost. We've also got another lab and a mole heading out at the top as well. That first lab and mole, though, passing that bottom Selen and actually picking up the kill on the way past. ElectricFoot will be alerted to the threat now, however. In comes a Tham. One swats the old mole. Down it goes. Takes 3 shots to kill the hunter, but it's enough. Manages to do that. No engineers going to fall foul of that little run by. But there we go, we've got another hunter that's made its way around the top right hand corner of the map, now bearing down on ElectricFoot's comm. The mole, I think, realizing that's the ACU, immediately backing away. That lab's not going to get any penetration there, but there is a vulnerable engineer down here. You might want to get moving this one, ElectricFoot, because you've got a lab about to turn up in your face. Hunters are very cute, it has to be said, but nice reclaim work. Yes, he doesn't manage to save the engineer, but he does manage to take out the lab, so good work from him. Expansion relatively even so far, going slightly in favor of grogancolin, and then getting normalized. 17 mass apiece for these two guys, and then of course the minute I say ElectricFoot jumps to 19. Why not? But grogancolin moving into the center with his ACU, and this is a real shame. ElectricFoot makes the early move to the center, but doesn't capitalize on all the mass, and is now allowing his opponent to get his fair share. And if he's not quick off the bat, he might lose out his fair share as well. Grogancolin looking to have picked up around 60% or so of the mass from that first SAM, not wanting to waste it. Full bar mass as we speak. Tham's moving into the center. Too many Mantis at the moment for Foot to be able to deal with, but it looks like we've got some PD going down on the top, and one quick blast from Colin's ACU immediately takes it out, cancelling ElectricFoot's construction. That's incredibly irritating, and he is successful in getting his share of the mass. Now, if he's really smart, he'll move in now and start work on that second Salem wreck. It's a real shame that Foot didn't manage to grab that, but a nice run by has 4 or 5 FAMs making it into the back of the base, going straight for the Hydro in an attempt to cripple grogancolin's power, but it's not going to be enough. That's going to survive with around 60% of its HP, maybe 65. That's 960 hit points out of 1600 for the layman. One single solitary engineer in the bottom left for ElectricFoot, going about his business, never hurt anybody. And that's just the way life goes. The mech he's just thrown together is also going to pay a penalty for that. Those 5 Mantis denying that bottom left expansion. Nicely done. But ElectricFoot re-establishing control in the middle. It's a shame Colin hasn't got a mole with him to see that was going. He could easily have denied all this, and I'm amazed as well that Foot is going to be allowed access to that wreck, although it has to be said, Reclaim doesn't seem to feature very highly on his priorities. 1,200 banked so far for ElectricFoot, 2,400 by contrast banked for Colin. Still a couple of Mantis left on this bottom left starting location, albeit very heavily damaged, one with 17 HP, one with 64, and a whole bunch of FAMs just waiting to be moved forward. There we go. ElectricFoot will once again reassert some dominance on that bottom left, but look out, grogancolin moving his ACU down there to correct that immediately. Got a lot of units on the ground, but quite spread out for ElectricFoot. Probably a similar number, however, they're all in one place up the top for grogancolin, and neither player at the moment managing to secure one of the corners, which is, let's face it, very, very essential on Desert Joust. Colin's still chilling with his ACU, not getting it involved. You can see such a massive difference in the style of gameplay between the average Joes and the pros. The ACUs are such an important offensive weapon, but don't get nearly as much playtime at this kind of level. It's partly down to fear, obviously, being as this is the unit that needs to be killed for your opponent to grab victory, but also just the question of multitasking and remembering to use your ACU effectively while at the same time upgrading mass, producing units, grabbing intel, and of course trying to gauge and counter what it is your opponent is going for. There's an awful lot to remember. But another push by grogancolin a little bit further south, now threatening the 2 land factories that ElectricFoot has thrown up in the middle. He's busy grabbing an upgrade on the hill there. We'll take a look at what that is at just a second, or in just a second. grogancolin going to score an overwhelming victory in the middle here, and now going to put pressure on the rest of these structures. Another little run by into the back, though, from ElectricFoot. Doesn't look like he's going to continue to press in, though. It's a shame. A little attack on Hydro could leave Grogan bottlenecked on power. Very close to it. I think he would just be okay. But Colin throwing up a couple of factories on the bottom left plateau. What can ElectricFoot see down here? Well, if he zoomed in, he'd be able to see the footprints, but he hasn't got the radar signatures. Intel not up and running in this portion of the map for him as yet, but if he could move up with these units and deny these 2 factories, that would be ideal for him. Colin's still having some success in the middle with all those ground troops. Let's take a look at the production capability of these 2 guys. Land factories, it seems that we've got 4 on the ground and operational for ElectricFoot. And contrast, Grogan has 8. Whether or not that'll be the case, these 2 under pressure now as the FAMs roll on past them. They seem more intent on scoring damage on the ACU. I think he's come to his senses, realised he's not going to be able to bag a kill there, and he can just settle for an eviction notice. One of the factories is going to go down. Whether or not he's going to stick around to take the second one out, though, I don't know. There's a lot of Mantis pouring in behind him. A few more FAMs trying to breach in through the southern aperture into grogancolin's main base. Probably not going to get much success there. Bomber out, though, for ElectricFoot. We do have air in play for both players now. Certainly Foot has gone for it in a harsher fashion, but look, that was probably the T2 engineering suite we saw earlier. 2 units of T2 PD and a tactical missile launcher going up in the middle of the map for ElectricFoot. That's probably going to sap his eco pretty hard. He surely wants to secure one of these plateaus first. He's got units up here. He needs to send an engineer or 2 up here to start building factories, though, so he can really make use of it. It looks like he's probably going to have to yield the bottom left. That's far too many Mantis on the ground, coupled with Colin's ACU in the mix and a factory, albeit half damaged, still operational and spewing out Mantis. He's definitely going to have to say goodbye to that one, but that TAC missile launcher now operational and building its first TAC missiles. Definitely going to have an impact on the wider eco, but I think it's going to be pretty safe thanks to the 2 units of T2 PD up there. Colin not going to be killing that anytime soon unless he rushes in with some suicide Medusas, which is definitely on the cards. We've got another upgrade. This time it's on Colin's ACU. Going up pretty quick. Take a look at what that's going to be in just a moment. Meanwhile, another push up top right from Colin, and denying the opportunity for ElectricFoot to get set up there either. Just as he brings in his engineers, he's going to have to back out once more. It's not looking great. Yes, Foot has the middle, but looks like he's in danger of losing both of the 2 corners. Take a look at general T1 spam, how we're doing here. 53 Mantis on the field for Colin. 44 FAMs on the field for Foot. So, huge gap between them. But Foot is pretty spread out. Colin has his forces quite well centralized. And there's not a lot on the ground here to stop these units pouring in, especially not with an ACU. And that is going to be the gun upgrade on Colin's ACU completed. It's a lot of damage suddenly in the south that ElectricFoot is going to have to deal with. And I don't know whether he's already fired a attack missile, but still none in the silo as of the moment. Could potentially be going for mexes up here. I don't know if Colin had managed to pick those up before. A little bit of a point defense creep potentially, but he's going to have to drift south to do something about Colin, who is making a move on his main base. Decent amount of spam on the ground and an upgraded comm. A lot of damage in play. That's actually going to be pretty difficult to stop. Attack missiles flying out from the center. Trying to go for the ACU, but dropping well short. It's going to be tough for him to hit an ACU while it's on the move. And this is not looking good. That attack missile launcher, a large eco sink. And the units have been pulled back from the top right to deal with the aggression in the south. Trouble is that opens the door for more incoming from the north as Colin makes his way into ElectricFoot's base. Factories getting destroyed en route. I think it's going to symbolize the end for ElectricFoot. Colin with some nice moves, just looked a little bit stronger on the field. Really noticed the difference in those 200 or 300 ranking points between these 2 players on the global ladder. So many Mantis in that factory now, and ElectricFoot finds himself confined to the center. Another TAC missile out, probably going for Colin's comm again. Inbound, Colin not on the move. That's going to connect and take him down to 5,000 HP as another TAC missile incoming. Is a really close one. Oh my goodness me, grogancolin must be screwing. ElectricFoot pulls out a victory with a couple of well-placed tactical missiles in just over the 15-minute mark, my absolute limit, or bottom end limit for a length of the game. Nice play from ElectricFoot. Very nice play from Colin. Deserved the win, but that is the nature of SOPCOM. You've got TAC missiles flying about on the field. You better not leave your comms standing around for any period of time. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. More to come, hopefully, today. But in the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out.